Okay, let's see how far I can get without an interruption. All right. Let me just say this. Anyway, um, again, I just think this is a very interesting conversation, but I think for me personally, it opens up the doors to communication amongst believers, Christians, and even non-believers, as far as what does it mean to be a Christian, what does it mean to have a relationship with God, and what is that about. Unfortunately, it's pretty sad when we as Christians have so many things that we get wrapped up in and talk about and argue about or whatever, and the love of God, love of Christ, and the church in Acts you don't see too often. Um, you yourself also spoke about people who speak of being anointed with power and have no fruit on their tree, have no results. That to me is a biggie, and as sad as it is that that's the case. Again, that's something else you don't hear too much about either. We hear a lot about people knocking, Benny Hinn and all these other people, whatever. But here's the funny part: what about you? What about the people who are talking about those? If you are living right and doing right and being right, then where's the fruit on your tree? And we could talk about people getting saved, but let's be real. We all know, well, hopefully we get to a point where we realize that it is not us. It is the Holy Spirit and only the Holy Spirit and only God who saves through Jesus Christ alone, period. He don't need us, he chooses us. He chooses to use us. We're not worthy of his grace, his mercy, anything. He gives us the gifts, the talent, so forth and so on, and wants to use us to show us his love in the whole 9 yards. I hope you can hear me. I'm saying it's probably the most important stuff I've said now to these 10, 15 minutes, and I'm being quiet. Um, we don't deserve God's love, mercy, grace, forgiveness, but he gives it to us because he loves us so much, and he loves us, and that's why he sent his son Jesus to die for us. So hopefully, hopefully, we can at least just get to a more mature level where before we go out talking about things and people, that we really clean up house home first, that we really spend that quality time in our word to develop that relationship with Christ, so that when we do speak, it's not us and it is God. Now I already know, for me personally, I'm coming off of some frustration because of my personal position and attachment to some things through my personal experience, because my thing is, I left the choir in church because I didn't want to be around a bunch of homosexuals. Just being real. And that was many years ago. Now, it wasn't like I didn't leave the church or whatever. It was actually, there was a few things that came together. It just happened to be at the same time. I had the opportunity to play football, so I played football. And when you go do extracurricular activities, that takes away time from other things. And it just happened to be choir, and I was tired of it anyway because I didn't want to be associated with homosexuality or homosexuals, whatever. Which was interesting because I also have a dance background and the dance part of my life or whatever, and so I was around other homosexuals in that atmosphere. But anyway, so um, neither here nor there on that note, but wish I had took some notes because there were some other things I really wanted to hit up on. Um, um, well, let me just go back to the family because that, like I said, is a really big deal. Um, well, maybe not. Anyway, let's start this over.